Each week on Culinary Confidential, Christina Cates, a seasoned foodie who has worked at some of New York City's top restaurants, will share her passion for the culinary world. Whether you're a professional chef, a restaurant enthusiast, or a lover of good food, Christina dives into the heart of hospitality, exploring the trends, triumphs, and challenges facing the food service profession. And you won't want to miss her chats with some of the most interesting and influential industry voices. And now, please take your seat at the table as Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates starts now, exclusively on AM 970, The Answer.
Welcome to another delicious episode of Culinary Confidential, the show where food, flavor, and the stories behind the world's most fascinating culinary creators all come together. I am your host, Christina Cates, and tonight we're diving into something a little indulgent, a little festive, and absolutely perfect for this time of year: gifting that truly impresses. Culinary Confidential is produced in association with my dear friend, Lucas A. Ferrara. Now, we all know the feeling. The holidays roll around, or a milestone celebration pops up, maybe a thank you gift, a host gift, or something special for someone who already seems to have everything. And you think, what do I get that's memorable? What do I give that says I put thought into this? Tonight's episode is all about those elevated, elegant, conversation-starting gifts that make people stop, smile, and say, okay, that was impressive. And to help us unlock the art of luxurious, meaningful gifting, we're joined by a couple of brands who have mastered it, each in their own delicious way. First up, we have the Caviar Co., the name synonymous with curated, approachable luxury. They've taken something that was once intimidating or reserved for special occasion dining and made it not only accessible, but celebratory. Their caviar tins, gift sets, and tasting experiences have become an entire language of gift giving, one where elegance meets fun and quality meets adventure. We'll talk with one of the founders, Petra Higby, about how to choose caviar for gifting, how to create memorable experiences for your guests, and how to make the idea of luxury food feel inviting instead of overwhelming. If you've ever wondered what kind of caviar is good to bring to a holiday party or how to serve it without feeling like you need a culinary degree, this conversation is absolutely for you. But we're not stopping there, because tonight's theme is all about pairing sophistication with soul. And that's where my second guest comes in. I have joining later in the hour Priscilla Jimenez, the online personality and wine expert known as the Wannabe Sommelier. She's picked out a few bottles of wine for us that will be great for gifting this holiday season. We're continuing to explore the art of luxury gifting, and no gift says sophistication quite like a great bottle of wine. Priscilla has built a following by making wine approachable, fun, and just a little bit glamorous. From splurge-worthy vintages to hidden gems that make unforgettable gifts, she'll share her top recommendations for bottles that impress and stories behind why they're so worthy of uncorking this holiday season. Now, if you listen to this show regularly, you know that on Culinary Confidential, we're always exploring the stories behind the stories, the philosophy behind an ingredient, the culture behind a brand. So tonight, while we're absolutely talking about caviar, pairings, packaging, and party-worthy presentations, we're also going to explore something larger. The idea that food is one of the most powerful gifts we can give. Food says, I care about you. Food says, I want you to indulge and I want you to have this moment. And during the holidays, when time moves quickly and emotions run high, those edible and drinkable luxuries become even more meaningful. So settle in, pour yourself a tea, a cocktail, or maybe even a little champagne. Since we're talking about caviar, it's only appropriate. And get ready for an episode that's flavorful, luxurious, and filled with ideas you'll actually want to try. Because when it comes to gifts that impress, it's not about the price tag. It's about the feeling, the moment, the memory, and the magic. Let me please welcome to the show Petra Higby, co-founder of the Caviar Co., a brand that's redefining how we experience this timeless delicacy. Petra's passion for quality, sustainability, and celebration has made her company a favorite amongst chefs and home entertainers alike. I'm so excited to have her here to talk about the world of caviar, gifting that truly impresses, and how to bring a touch of elegance to your holiday table. Petra, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Christina. I'm really happy to be here and excited about this.
Now, this is going to be great. This is a topic that I've been wanting to do for so long. And I have to tell you, I ordered one of the gift sets probably a year and a half ago. I was going to one of my friend's houses and he always hosts things. And I was just getting bored with bringing the same type of like bottle of wine or champagne or whatever to his house. So I went online 2 days before I was supposed to go to this event. And I said, what can I bring that's different? And the caviar coat came up on my Google search. And I was like, oh, well, this is spectacular. I wonder if I'm going to be able to like even get it in time. And I did. And it came packed so beautifully, dry ice and everything. I bring it there and everyone's like, you brought caviar today? And I was like, yeah, I did. They were so impressed with it that he told me recently, he's like, I never told you this. I've ordered it for other friends now. Like when I go to their houses, I thought that was such a lovely idea.
Oh, I absolutely love to hear that. I do think that it just has this wow factor to it but it's relatively simple. And I think that's what people forget about caviar. I'm like, you can just keep it so simple and the impact that it makes is pretty significant.
It just elevates the whole atmosphere of the event because it's like, oh, we're having caviar tonight by the pool. Like, this is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know the feeling you get when you hear a bottle of champagne pop open?
Yes.
You almost get like giddy. You're like, ooh, great, let's go. It's going to be a great night. You know, I feel like caviar has that same touch on the emotions. Like as soon as you see caviar, you know, you kind of get giddy and it just changes the trajectory of the night. It changes the mood and it just really scales it up.
All right. So how did you even come up with this idea? We got to talk about the story here. Luxury for less is so hot right now. I talked about it with Michael LaMonaco when I had him on the show last year. And you can't go into a restaurant now without something on the menu having a dollop of caviar on top, whether it's a pasta, a baked potato, you know, a chicken nugget even. How did you come up with this idea?
You know, I actually, what we really focus on is education. And through education, people understand that you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to enjoy caviar, and you still get the same experience. And there are multiple different types of caviar because, you know, historically, you hear about the Ocetras and the Belugas, and those are all really high ticket items. And even whenever Saucy and I started our company, the common response was like, oh, well, you know, only Ocetra is the best. And we kind of took that on as a challenge, you know, like want to bet and to show people really how different species yield different results. And they're for different times. You know, I like to say there's a different caviar for every day of the week. And yes, you have your celebratory caviars, your Ocetras, but also we have our like Monday night caviar where you survived the first day of the week, come home, have, you know, sit down with your partner and have like an ounce of Hackleback with some potato chips or on your pasta. You know, and things like that, you can really stretch too. It's kind of like wine. Like you decide what bottle of wine you're going to open at which time. You know, you have the nice bottles of wine that you maybe save for a special occasion, and then you have your bottle of wine that you just open up as soon as you get home from work.
Or like, this is the caviar I'm going to give the kids tonight, or I'm going to save the Ocetra for myself. Yes, I can relate to that. My kids, I try to give them the whitefish roe and the salmon roe. Every now and then they ask me for a Kaluga, but I'm like, you know what? Let's stick with the bright colors right now. Or like, if you do all your homework and do all the chores, then you can have a little caviar bump over here.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing because it's so healthy. So it's like, I feel lucky that my kids like caviar, and I feel even more lucky that I have access to caviar.
Well, let's talk about some of those health benefits with caviar, because I don't even think I fully know what they are.
Yeah, so they're really high. It's very similar to like oysters and really high in like minerals and irons and omegas. And things like that. It's actually a diuretic as well, so it's anti-inflammatory, and we also say that it's a hangover cure.
There is probably a lot of vitamins and minerals in there, right? That would replenish, or like electrolytes even, that would replenish the body.
Yes, even just in like 1 ounce, you get your like 200% of your daily vitamin B12.
Well, I didn't know that.
You get those omega-3 fatty acids, the EPA and DHA. And so that's all, you know, of course, good. Like when you take your fish oil pill and why you do that. But And then the minerals that are in it, it's like the iron, I think I mentioned selenium, calcium, magnesium. All of those are great for like your immune system and bone health and, again, those anti-inflammatory benefits.
I love it. You know what I just remembered? I just saw on social media recently, you did Kathy Hilton's pajama party.
Yes, we just did that last week.
That looks so fun. That was a great PR review for your company. I mean, Kathy Hilton, she's the pinnacle of elegance and luxury in Beverly Hills. Did you get to go to that?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was I think our third year in a row going. So we love working with the Hiltons, and we worked with Paris for her wedding.
Oh, nice.
She used all of our caviar for her wedding caviar. And, you know, I think Kathy's such a great, like, she is the epitome of approachable luxury. She's so elegant and refined and, you know, she's so chic, but she's so kind. And she's so approachable. You know, she really will talk to anyone and has time for anyone. And so I think she is actually a really great example of kind of what we're going for as a company.
Oh, what a great collaboration then. And that's so nice to hear about her because, you know, sometimes when you watch things, you don't know someone, you don't know how they are in real life. So it is very nice to hear. Okay, yeah, let's talk about what makes your caviar so special. Do you want to talk about maybe where you're sourcing it from?
Yeah, of course. So what's really interesting with the caviar industry is that there's a lot of overlap in sourcing, but what's really important is how you handle it and how long you let it sit, or if you pasteurize it or don't pasteurize it, and what preservatives you allow to get put in your caviar. So for us, and it's the law in the United States, you're only allowed to have caviar with salt in it. However, a lot of the farms overseas, they put borax in it, which is like a preservative. And actually, I feel like I can taste it. And my sister is allergic to it, so she gets like a little itchy throat.
Wow.
So she's our quality control, you could say. But it's really important to stress to the farms and for them to understand that you don't want those preservatives, because what's great about our model too is that we send the exact same caviar to our chefs that order on a weekly basis that we do to our online orders. You know, you could be ordering, if you order online today, right now, and say you want a Kaluga hybrid, I would be pulling from the exact same shelf as what I would be pulling for like 3 Michelin star restaurant single thread up in Healdsburg. And it benefits everyone because it allows our consumers to really understand quality product, because it's quite common that a lot of companies will save the best product for the chefs, assuming that they know better, and then the lower product, you know, that's where you see in a lot of the Costco and Bevmos and things like that. And that's more, I almost compare it to like fast fashion. Like, I love Zara, you know what I mean? Like, I am not against fast fashion, but what separates us from other caviar companies is like the care that we put into our product and how quickly we move it. You know, we completely filter through our refrigerators every 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
So we move our stuff really quickly because of this model that we have, to where our consumers are getting top shelf product, but our chefs are also getting the freshest product that we possibly have. And so it kind of is, and then we have no waste and our customers get a great experience. So it's really a win-win for all 3 of us, you know.
What is the shelf life for caviar? I have no idea.
So it kind of depends on how it's made, where it's coming from, when it was salted. And so we like to say give it like 4 to 6 weeks, because we like to, that changes the quality, right? So
Yeah.
Even if our caviar is good for 6 weeks, once it's sitting in those jars and tins, it time does start ticking. Like, it starts changing. It can get a little bit more flavorful. That salt can be a little bit more pronounced because it's had more time to really penetrate those eggs and make that full flavor come out. And so that's why we like to kind of we'll never sell anything over 4 weeks. We don't really sit on anything for 4 weeks anyway, so it's not a problem, but we wouldn't sell anyone anything once it hits 4.
Okay, so for the listener out there that isn't super familiar with caviar, right? Because it can be an intimidating thing if you just don't know about it. What are the differences between the species? If you can just talk about it in an approachable language,
Yeah, of course. I think the best thing to do is compare it to wine. You have different grapes of wine. You have your Pinot Noir, and then you have your Napa Cabernet Sauvignon, and they yield very different palates. And it's the exact same thing with caviar. You have your Osetra, that's a more rich, decadent, more like oils and fats, or you have a white sturgeon that's lovely, buttery, smooth, and silky. And it's just, so every different species of sturgeon does yield different characteristics, whether it's in color of the eggs, size of the eggs, and of course, flavor and texture. And so that's where, like I said earlier, we really like to focus on education because, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And so we feel like it's our job to educate consumers and not only to hold our industry and ourselves accountable, but to help people understand what their preferences are with caviar. And so that's why we love to do these like caviar flights and caviar tastings where you can try different caviar side by side. Because, say if you just have caviar, service by itself once a quarter or even once a year, how do you compare it to the next time you had caviar? And how do you know what your preferences are? And when you're spending your, good hard-earned money, you want to make sure that you are pleased with the outcome.
That's right. I used to not like caviar, but thank God that changed, because that was really rough. But something changed in me in the last couple of years. I actually enjoy it now. So I can't wait to get some more of it.
There's such a difference in bad caviar and good caviar, though. Like I've run into people like, I tried caviar once and I will never try it again. And it's such a shame, but we're usually able to convince them, and then they're like, oh, wait, I do like caviar. But when caviar is not good, it's really not ideal. Yeah.
Okay. Petra, stay tuned. We're going to go to commercial break, but when we get back, let's talk about caviar for the holidays and entertaining and all the gift sets and things that you offer at the Caviar Co. Stay tuned. You're listening to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970 The Answer.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to newmanferrara.com. That's newmanferrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
Welcome back to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970, The Answer.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Christina Cates, and tonight we've been talking about gifts that impress. The gifting season is officially here, and we all want to show our loved ones how much we care with something special, something that says luxury. But let's be real, the price tags on those high-end items can quickly turn festive cheer into budget anxiety. That's where we come in. This segment is all about approachable luxury. Joining again is Petra Higby, co-founder of the Caviar Co. The Caviar Co. offers high-quality, thoughtful gifts that deliver an exquisite experience without requiring you to take out a second mortgage. The Caviar Co. is a family-owned, female-curated purveyor of high-quality, sustainably sourced caviar and gourmet products. Founded by sisters Petra and Saskia in San Francisco, their mission was to make caviar more approachable and part of an everyday lifestyle rather than a just once-in-a-while indulgence. Petra, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Did I say your sister's name right?
Yeah, Saskia.
Saskia, okay. Just making sure, because I just, that's my thing. I don't like to mispronounce people's names. Okay.
It's fine. You said it perfectly.
Good. All right, so let's talk about caviar as a gift. It's the holiday season. We're entertaining. We want to impress people. What are some of the products you're offering?
So we have a really great variety of gift sets. I would say our creme de la creme has been the 12 days of caviar, and it's been really, really popular. This is something that we've been doing for the past 5 years now, but this is a new box that we're rolling out, and it's just gorgeous. You know, it has all the bells and whistles from the foil stamp, the magnetic clothes, and it was just a very thoughtfully curated package. And so it has 12 products, so it features everything that we have to offer, and it's just a real experience gift. It's also, I think, a good gift for multiple people. Like, say you need a gift for a family. This is a great gift for a family that, you know, it'll create this family experience where people can either have, some people put all of the caviars out on a table at once and try them side by side. And then some people do one caviar a day leading up to the holidays. And so I think but it's 12 ounces of caviar. So that's a lot of caviar.
That's a lot of,
yeah. So it's a very generous gift, but it is very, very experiential, which is something that we really take into account with our company. We really care about that ritual and the experience that people have, not only when they're purchasing our caviar, but when they're receiving it and enjoying it. So that's obviously one of our top sellers at the moment. And then we recently launched a really fun collaboration with Modern Picnic. They create these really cute handbags that are insulated. So, they're like little coolers on the go or lunch bags, but they're insulated. And so this is a really fun gift for someone who is on the go a lot, you know, might go have picnics in the park or something like that, because it's this really cute wicker handbag with a caviar hand-painted, like a caviar tin that's been hand-painted on it. And it comes with an ounce of caviar and a tin key to open up your caviar. But with the bag, you know, that's something that lasts much longer, and that can be reused, and it's really cute. And then we have these other really fun, like cooler tasting sets, which I think everything comes back to the experience, whether how you feel when you're opening the gift box or how you're getting to try different caviar side by side. And so, like, one of my favorites, and this was actually recently in Rob Report, was this tasting duo that we have where you can kind of curate your own selection to, like, we give you a few different options based on the price point you're going for. So, like, this duo, it starts at $127, which you get 2 1-ounce containers of caviar and roe. And then it also comes with, it kind of does all the work for you. Like, it comes with, you can choose whether you want it to come with blini or latkes and creme fraiche and spoons and a tin key, to where really if you were just to hand someone this cooler, they could open it up right there on the spot and dig into their caviar. So that's what's a really nice, but it's also a great hostess gift because, you know, you walk in, like you were saying earlier, it's different than just handing someone a bottle of wine that maybe you're a wine club member of and you have excess. Like, here's
right. You're handing someone an experience instead.
Yeah, and it's so easy. Like, the reaction, it's really nice. It changes the reaction for sure. And we just love to curate little packages for our customers, you know, to give them some guidance and leeway. And so we even have 2 sets where the caviar comes with a server. So, because some people don't have caviar servers in their home, and that's totally fine. Usually, if you don't have a caviar server in your home, you can just I love to use like a champagne coupe or a small little demi bowl, but giving the server kind of goes back to giving something that people can use and be like a household collection. So we have a variety of gift sets that we offer, but it's a really, really special. Obviously, now is high time for gifting, and it's exciting to see.
All right, so you know what? Let's talk about a little bit of the accessible tips for serving caviar, right? Because you just did give like how to serve it if you don't have the proper set to do it. But like the accoutrement, right? Like, what are some interesting things people can put out as a spread with the caviar?
Honestly, what I think is the most fun really is just, all you need is the base. So whether it's potato chips, brioche, latkes, blini, and sometimes it's fun to have all of those and to like go back and forth and see what your favorite vessel is essentially. And then really all you need is sometimes some creme fraiche. And I just personally, I love chive, so I like to have a little bit of chive. But you don't even need the egg, the sieved egg. You don't need
the red onion,
capers, the lemon. No, because historically that was to mask bad caviar.
Oh, that's a fun fact.
It came about when they were transferring caviar from Russia to France before there was like cool transport. So by the time the caviar would actually get to France, it would basically be spoiled. And so the chefs brought in these other ingredients and flavors to essentially mask bad caviar. However, like the tradition's really fun. I love to, build your own bite, and it totally works, but it's not necessary.
I love that. All right. I think we got to leave it there. We covered all the things. We're bringing caviar for the holidays. It's the best thing to bring for a big wow factor. Up next, I'm going to bring on Priscilla Jimenez. She has a digital platform. Her personality online is called the Wannabe Sommelier, and she's picked some super great champagnes to go with the caviar that we've been talking about all night. So more with her after the break. But Petra, thank you so much for coming on the show. I can't wait to bring this to all my friends' houses this holiday season. And maybe I'll treat myself with one too.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I always love to talk about caviar, and it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Happy holidays. Thank you. Stay tuned. You're listening to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970 The Answer.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to newmanferrara.com. That's newmanferrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
Welcome back to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970, The Answer.
Welcome back to the show. Joining for a final segment of the hour is Priscilla Jimenez, the creator behind the Wannabe Sommelier, a digital platform born from her living room a few years ago with a simple mission: to make wine approachable, enjoyable, and easy to understand. What began as sharing genuine recommendations and personal discoveries has evolved into a trusted voice in the wine community. Through her authentic perspective, Priscilla connects with audiences who appreciate that wine doesn't have to be complicated. It's about curiosity, connection, and the joy of every glass. Priscilla has picked some of her favorite bottles of wine and champagne that she thinks will make a lasting impression for gifting for this holiday season. Priscilla, welcome to the show. Let's just jump right into it. What kind of wine did you bring us tonight for the feature?
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here and give you my best recommendations as we go into the holidays.
Actually, you know what? Before we get started, we should give a shout out to the People Somm, right? Who's our mutual friend who, he helped get you on the show for me tonight. So I have to give a big shout out to him. Maybe he was a little upset I didn't ask him to come back on the show, but he brought us Priscilla instead. No, he's so great. So thank you to him. So Priscilla's going to bring us luxury wines for gifting that impresses during the holiday season. All right, where do you want to start, Priscilla? Should we start with a champagne?
Champagne.
Yeah, let's start with champagne. All right, what do we got?
Everybody needs a little bit of holiday sparkle.
Yes,
right? So
yes.
I'm going to give you my 4 best high-end champagnes that I actually consume myself often.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear them.
Yeah, so I have a range in here. So the number one, and this is in no particular order of likeness. They're all fantastic. But let's just start with Piper non-vintage. You can find it for approximately between $50 and $60. You're going to find a blend of Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, and Pinot Meunier, which are the three typical grapes that you will find in any champagne blend.
Okay.
As to the notes, what I can tell you, and the reason why I like it, is because it's very citrusy. So you're going to find a lot of citrus, pear. It's a very easy to drink champagne, and I can tell you right now, it pleases everyone, even the non-champagne drinkers. So it is my go-to when I have a dinner party where you have a mix of people that some of them are beer drinkers, wine drinkers, champagne drinkers. So this is a very good start of champagne.
Oh, I like that. That's a great recommendation. Okay, next up.
Okay, next up. Krug Champagne, spelled Krug.
Oh, yeah.
It is a sharp champagne. So if you have had Krug before, you know you like it. The neat about this champagne, and the reason why I picked it, is because it's a very unique way they make champagne. And I think that's what makes it interesting, right? You're going to have a blend of 131 wines from 12 different years. So it is unique the way they make champagne. So it's vintage, but it's non-vintage. Vintage because, you're picking different years, but it's non-vintage because it does not come particular for just 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the fact that they make the best pretty much years, and they mix it all together to make this beautiful blend.
That's a great pick.
And as of the aromas and the taste, it's very buttery, a very pastry, like fresh baked bread, so to speak. Picture that.
Yeah.
And with a little spices at the end, so it has a very long finish for a champagne. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, because of course, I'm not an expert at this, it's probably because it's such a blend of so many different grapes and many different wines in different years that it makes it very unique.
Oh, that's great. And what's that going to run you at the store?
Yes, probably between $280 and $350.
Ooh, so that's a splurge, but that would impress me if somebody brought me that wine for the holidays.
It's definitely a splurge. And this, we're talking about retail prices, so we're talking about store prices. Restaurants, of course, it's going to be a lot more.
Much more.
Yeah, much more. Number 3 on my pick is going to be Rare Champagne. Comes from the same Piper family, the first one that I mentioned.
Okay.
It's the same house, so to speak, but it is absolutely fantastic champagne, to be honest with you. I just have no description for it other than the fact that it's just great.
Okay, so that's like your number one pick that you want to drink.
It has been my number one this year for sure. What makes it very unique about this champagne, and I always like to point out things that make unique champagnes, right? Like the one before. It is a limited production, so they don't make it every year.
Oh, that's interesting.
They only come up with their champagne, and it's all vintage. They only come up with their vintage champagne only in the years that it's worth it.
Ooh, so they really have raised the standards for quality. They're only putting out the best of the best.
That's right. If they didn't have a good vintage, that year would not have a champagne. They will not produce champagne.
Wow.
So it has to meet like the high-end standards, and I love that about this because I have had recent vintages from 2008 to 2013, and they're all spectacular. This is a combination of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, primarily. So it's delicious. And it will run you about between $250 and $300 a bottle.
Well, you know what? That's another impressive gift.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And number 4.
Wait, if we can go back to number 3 for 1 second.
Yeah,
is that very hard to find?
It is not.
Okay.
But restaurants, yes. But you can find it at, if I may say some names of stores.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like national stores. You can find it at Total Wine, for example. They have it. I'm not sure which vintages they have, and when they have it, it's gone, it's gone.
Right.
So if you get a chance to find, actually, as a matter of fact, I was lucky enough to have an 2008 this year, and it ran about, I think it was $200 at a restaurant. I couldn't believe it. And it was absolutely spectacular. And it was the only bottle they had. I literally stole it. from them.
They
Literally.
probably get allotted just a specific amount.
Yes. Yeah. So it's very unique champagne. It's been my go-to when I'm having a very special occasion, either for gifting or drinking at home. I always think you should never open your best bottles on your worst days. You should open them on your worst days and not your good days.
Oh.
Because the good day is already a good day.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something to cheer you up on a bad day, open a bottle of champagne.
Ooh, that's a good motto to have in life.
Yes, always. So it's always a good time for champagne.
I love champagne. All right, what do you have for pick number 4?
Number 4, next in line, is going to be Paul Roger. This is you're going to find the non-vintage, the regular non-vintage, which will run you about between $50 and $70, $50, $60. But the one that I've chosen for your show as a special, high-end champagne is going to be the Winston Churchill edition.
Wow. It's
going to run you a good $450. So this is going to be the most that I've had here in this champagne blog. It's going to be mostly Pinot Noir, which makes it absolutely delicious and perfect for food pairings. And it's a very complex and elegant champagne. Elegant with the Pinot Noir, the complex with just everything that involves the champagne. They're all done in primarily just the regular champagne method, and they are absolutely fantastic.
These are some great picks here.
That I've been very lucky is a 2015 Paul Roger, Winston Churchill. 2015 is a phenomenal year for champagne. It was a good year for champagne, so I think this is a good pick for something very special.
So, we're giving you some options here. Instead of going to the liquor store, when you go to someone's house and you grab the standard bottle of Veuve Clicquot, which we know the People Somm absolutely hates.
Not a favorite either.
Right. We're giving you some other alternatives, and they're good conversation starters for your host if you're going to someone's house or you're going to just a holiday gathering, some other things to look for and in the liquor store. And also, I know people are busy, you're in and out, you're just grabbing what you know, but talk to the people that work there, right? They can also help put you into another house that has an interesting story and a really good quality champagne. Now, Priscilla.
Personally, I have learned so much from just talking to, people who are actually working in and out in the store on a day-to-day basis. I have learned so much from them as well.
Yeah, they're very knowledgeable. All right, are you noticing any trends in how people are gifting or enjoying wine this year, whether it be, sparkling or natural or otherwise?
Trends as to what exactly?
Well, how they're gifting wine or enjoying the wine for the holiday season.
I think I personally have seen in between my friends and my circle, right, that trying something different that is special, something that is unique, has been the go-to gifting for me.
Yeah, it's like quality over quantity.
That's right. I don't need to bring 5 bottles. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to taste something that is completely different than what you would normally go and buy.
Right.
So introducing something new, something different, something that is unique, I think it's been my trend in between my circle and when I go to wine tastings as well.
First of all, your circle of wine people, you guys must be sipping on some really sick wines all the time.
Not all the time, but we try.
But a lot. All right. How should someone shop smart for wine gifts online versus in person? Is there specific sites that you think are
Do your research.
Do your research, yeah.
Yeah, doing the research based on grapes that you like, I think is a good start. So, for example, if we were to move into red wines, for example, there's some grapes that you may not like very much. So then do your research online before you go into any Total Wine or anything, and then have an idea on not only the grape that you like, but also the price range that you want to stay at. That's very important as well.
Are there any underrated wine regions or varietals that you think deserves a spot under the tree this year?
Yes, I do.
Tell me.
100% Chardonnay Champagne deserves a spot under the tree. And my pick for that will be Ruinart Blanc de Blanc.
I love that one.
Non-vintage, it will run you about $85, so it's under $100. Perfect for gifting. And it's 100% Chardonnay, so it's also a big winner, I'm thinking, in the wine industry and people that may not be so into champagne like I am, and they want to try something that still is champagne, but it's at 100% Chardonnay.
I love it.
It's very unique. It's very unique in that manner, right? Because it's made with just 100% Chardonnay grapes.
Yeah. All right. I know we highlighted a lot of champagne because we're gifting to impress, and we have caviar on the show tonight. But are there any red or white wines that you want to feature or recommend for the holiday season as well?
I have 3.
Okay.
And this was a little hard for me to pick.
Really?
But yes, it was a little hard for me to pick because I love French wines. I love a lot of old world wines. So I decided to pick 3. They're all within a very reasonable amount of pricing for gifting, and these are the ones that I'm actually having with my family and friends this holiday season as well.
Oh, I can't wait to hear them.
Number 1, it's a Margaux. Margaux is a very high-end area of Bordeaux,
Mm-hmm.
and I have chosen for my Margaux, which is a very full-body wine, dinner-like, perfect for Thanksgiving, for example, in my opinion. It will be Chateau d'Alsace. It is spelled Dauzac. It runs you between, depends on the vintage. So, wines can vary a lot in pricing based on the vintage.
Right.
05, 02, 2000s, they're not going to run you at $30 a bottle, right? But for 2020 vintage, for this Chateau d'Alsace, you can find it between $60 and $70, which is a very perfect price. And I'm thinking if I'm going to a nice dinner for Thanksgiving, I get invited for Thanksgiving, I'm bringing a couple bottles of Chateau d'Alsace.
Oh, I'm inviting you to everything.
It's going to be a 70% Cabernet, 30% Merlot, and very small in some vintages, Petit Verdot, which is not very commonly used in this area. But I love it that they're trying to make a perfect blend to make a phenomenal wine that you can sip with cheeses or have a full meal with it.
So nice.
The second one is going to be Chateau Talbot, Talbot. 2021 vintage will run you for $65. And 2016 vintage, to give an idea, that my research on this, it runs for about $130 retail.
That's still a great deal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, yep. Even for the 2021 vintage, I think it's a great deal for under $70.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to be a left bank wine, Bordeaux, so it's going to be predominant Cabernet, mainly Cabernet, 70-80% Cabernet, if I were to guess right now, and very little Merlot. It's still going to be a medium to full body, and you're going to find a lot of earth in these wines and a lot of spices in the back end. So they're very beautiful wines. And the third one, which is a right bank, which means essentially that it's going to be more Merlot-based wine. So you're going to have a lot of silk. You're going to have a lot of smoothness in your wine. I mean, it's absolutely velvety in your palate as soon as you taste it.
Ooh, that's a sexy wine.
Yeah, Chateau Angelus. So Angelus. Chateau Angelus. You're going to have for an early vintage. Again, French wine is meant to be aged, right?
Yeah.
So I'm giving you prices on very recent vintages. For 2021 vintage of Chateau Angelus will run you about $350.
Oof.
So it's a very hefty price for this wine. I would definitely buy it, keep it, and drink it in 20 years.
Ooh, I don't know if I could wait that long.
No, I don't think I can wait that long either.
No, but this was great because honestly, Priscilla, you gave us a lot of wines at different price points, which I appreciate because not everyone is, paying from the same wallet here. So I appreciate all the research you did. And, even for the listeners out there, when you're going to the wine store and you're getting an obscure bottle that you don't know a lot about and you're bringing it to someone's house, you can use AI real quick, ChatGPT. Yep. They'll give you a quick blurb about just the basics of the wine. So when you're giving it to someone and you're giving them something maybe they've never heard of, you can give them some facts real quick.
Yeah, and you can also, with ChatGPT, because I do it when I go and buy for wine for just to keep, right? I ask ChatGPT to give me a price range of the best vintages for whatever chateau that I'm buying.
Yeah.
Okay, so then ChatGPT will give you, latest vintage, let's say 2022, 2023 coming up, right? And it will go down and it will give you the price range for every vintage. So when you go and shop, let's say at a Total Wine or a major wine store, right, you know exactly when you see that year how much a price you're supposed to be paying or the range that you're supposed to be paying. Yeah. So I think that's very smart shopping as well asking ChatGPT to give you for wine. This is all in wine purposes, right? To give you the vintages, the years, and the prices.
That's a great tip. Priscilla, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Of course.
This was a great segment, and I wish you a happy holiday season.
Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing you next.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us to the ingredient of the week. And this week, let's see here. We have a classic pairing for caviar, creme fraiche. It's a luxurious, silky, and festive ingredient without overshadowing the star ingredient of a dish. It's elegant and it screams holiday indulgence. Creme fraiche began in the countryside of Normandy and Brittany, regions in France known for their lush pastures and exceptional dairy. Before refrigeration, farmers would naturally culture fresh cream by letting it sit out at room temperature. The natural bacteria in the cream would gently ferment, thickening it and giving it that subtle tang we love today. What started as a practical preservation method became a beloved culinary tradition. By the mid-20th century, creme fraiche had become a hallmark of French cooking, valued for its velvety texture, rich flavor, and incredible stability. Unlike sour cream, it doesn't curdle when heated, which made it a favorite in both professional kitchens and home cooking. Its neutral elegance means it can go sweet or savory, rustic or refined. But in the world of luxury and holiday entertaining, creme fraiche holds a special place. It's an essential part of the classic caviar service. Its smooth, cool richness balancing the briny pop of the roe. Paired with blini, chives, or smoked salmon, it elevates even the simplest bite into something celebratory. Today, creme fraiche symbolizes understated luxury, simple ingredients handled with craftsmanship and patience. It's indulgent without being fussy, and timeless enough to sip beside champagne and caviar as if it belonged there all along. Thank you for listening to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. on AM 970 The Answer. Tune in next week where I continue the holiday cheer and highlight fantastic brands for a show that's a holiday gift guide of sorts. Stocking stuffer ideas for foodies, if you will. I've invited onto the show people that have foodie brands that I think would be fun for stocking stuffer ideas or white elephant gift ideas. So please tune in for that. But that is the show for tonight. Thanks for listening and have a great night.
The preceding program is sponsored by Shake It Off Live, LLC.